Hello, you are most welcome to our next lesson on factorization. In this lesson, we shall be looking at the difference of two squares. Difference of two squares are expressions written in the form of a squared minus b squared or a power 4 minus b power 4. We call this a difference of two squares because this can be simplified into a squared minus b squared. That's why we also consider it as a difference of two squares. Otherwise, these expressions are factorized by finding the sum and the product of their terms. Actually, we find the product of the sum and difference of their terms with their powers. The cases involving 2, we shall start with the cases that involve square or the power 2. These expressions are given in the form of x squared minus y squared. And how do we factorize this? We factorize this by simply getting the product of their sum, that is to say x plus y, and their difference, x minus y. That is how we factorize that. Let us look at examples. Our first example says factorize the following completely: x squared minus y squared. So x squared minus y squared will be given by x plus y times x minus y. That is our final expression. Then we have x squared minus 4. So since it is a difference of two squares, we must find the means of changing a 4 to a square. So this is the same as x squared. 4 is 2 squared. And now that gives us x plus 2 times x minus 2 as our final expression for that. We are continuing with more examples. We look at example 3. Example 3, or our part C, says 2a squared minus 18. So here we cannot get a square from 18 because 18 is not a square number. So we can first of all have the common factor, which is a 2. So we can take a 2 out, so that we remain with a squared minus 9. Therefore, we can change 9 into a square. That gives us 2 into a squared minus 3 squared. So this gives us 2 into a plus 3 into a minus 3. That is our final expression for that. Then the same applies to part D. We cannot have 18 as a square, but we have a common factor, which is a 2. So we have 8x squared minus 18y squared. The common factor is a 2. So when we could take a 2 outside, we remain with 4x squared minus 9y squared. And now we change the 4 and the 9 into squares. So that gives us 2 into 2 squared, x squared minus 3 squared, y squared. But since it is a difference of two squares, we must create 2 squares out of the 4 we have. So we shall simply apply the laws of indices, whereby we have different bases sharing the same power. Therefore, we bring them into a common bracket and give them a common power. That is to say, 2x squared minus 3y in bracket squared. and therefore our final expression will be 2 into 2x plus 3y into 2x minus 3y as our final expression on that. Then let us look at our last part, that is part E, where we have x cubed minus 32x. And now this one we shall have a common factor of x, so that gives us x squared. Since we have taken x outside, here we remain with x squared minus 32. Unfortunately, 32 is not a square number, so there is no way we can express 32 in terms of a square. Therefore, we shall just stop here. Otherwise, assuming it was 2x cubed minus 32x, then this one could get us a common factor of 2x. Here we could remain with x squared minus 16. And now we could express 16 in terms of a square, hence giving us 2x into x squared minus 4 squared. So that could give us our final expression as 2x into x plus 4 into x minus 4. That's the difference of two squares. As we summarize this lesson, we will say that the difference of two squares, which is a squared minus b squared, is simplified as a plus b times a minus b. So if you try to expand this, you will go back to that. Now what's important is what comes first here must come first when you are dealing with the subtraction. It should not be b minus a because it has been a first. With this one, b can come first because this one is a commutative. But this one, the first one must always come first when you are dealing with the negative part. Otherwise, that has been the difference of two squares for the power 2. Otherwise, on the next lesson will be on power 4. So please be with us throughout the next lesson so that we enjoy together.